So it's like the Me Too generation continues, because after Cassie came out with her lawsuit and all these other women came out, here comes Christian Keys. And he said that someone big in the industry, someone big in Hollywood, was constantly after him for years, set him up several times to get that behind. But he said, we would be surprised to know who it is. Well, maybe we won't be that surprised, because if he's talking about Tyler Perry, he has always been suspect. And even Tyler Perry said he was molested as a child. And everybody knows a lot of times when you're molested as a child, that first experience, SUL experience, you carry over to adulthood. Some people, not everyone, but some people carry it over to adulthood. And then for others, they become the abusers. So it wouldn't be a surprise to me if he mentions Tyler Perry or any of those guys in the business out there in Hollywood. They don't call it Hollyweird for nothing. In any event, as he was talking, he really looked like if he was still shook up over it, although it's been years. And he said he didn't file this lawsuit in New York. He didn't meet the deadline deliberately because it wasn't about the money. And so he wants to take all his evidence of his recordings to the cops. And I'm saying, good luck with that, because I don't know how long this alleged groping or trying to fondle him, or this alleged attempt at a S act. I don't know how long it took place, how long ago it occurred, but I believe there's a statute of limitation on that. So he should have filed under that Adult Survivors Act in order to be heard. He said it wasn't about the money. And of course, if it's not about the money, he could have filed just to be heard in court, to have some type of vindication that this person tried to assault him so many times and really, I believe, stifled his ability to progress properly in his field. Because these people, they're billionaires and they wield the iron fist of power. And if you don't succumb to what they want, their demands, they make sure they stop whatever projects you're doing in midstream. I don't know how long ago this happened, but he said he deliberately wanted the statute of limitation to run out before he can take his evidence to the cops. And I'm saying, well, that's not a plan. You should have taken it to the cops while you were still covered under that statute of limitation that they had in New York, the Adult Survivors Act, I believe it's called. But we're going to see what's going to happen in the future when he takes all his evidence to the cops to see if he can maybe get some type of restitution from this person. In any event, let's listen to what he has to say. So as he was talking, he had such a distressed look on his face. And someone said, "Are you okay?" in the chat. And he said he's okay. But he didn't look okay to me. He really seemed distressed. He seemed as though he's still going through the trauma, almost like PTSD, that he went through this experience for years, just trying to deal with these Hollywood people who was trying to get him in the sack. That's all their mind was on, offering all kinds of deals. He said this particular person, this one person. I'm thinking a couple of people. But, you really can't say any names because we don't know who it is, who he's talking about. But he said we would be shocked if we know who it was. Well, the people who are coming to my mind, I wouldn't be shocked about because they are suspect. People pretty much know that they are gay. Let's listen to what he has to say.
A declaration of my experience. What I experienced with certain powers that be that were moving inappropriately. really, like it's in my bone marrow to discuss that, because thankfully God built me the way that he built me, but I'm not sure, based on this person's claims and brags, that he's literally got, at the same time this person was harassing me for years. He was claiming, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. And clearly that's why it felt to him that it was okay to say these things. And I want to have these discussions. I want to be transparent with y'all about that. I've done my best to forgive this person, but it happens. It happens. It's not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes. And it'll be men tempting men. And that's why a lot of my posts over the last few years have been about taking the scenic route, taking a long way around, because if that means that you can carry your integrity with you, then. But there are people that will and have and will continue to, unfortunately, offer these things. And some of them are your heroes. Some of them are people who you're like, oh yeah, such and such is amazing, and he does this and he does that. Yeah, but he also does this and that. At some point soon, it's going to have to come out. I've kept one of these on me since '05. Whether it's a keychain recorder or a pen, because most would check your phone. And once this harassment started, I was like, well, I got to protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that they know the other guys that they have on the payroll, all the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because harassment is a crime.
You guys out there heard that? Those of you who signed an NDA, no one can come after you. If you sign an NDA and you have evidence of a crime happening to you, although you signed that NDA, once you take your evidence to the cops and it's found to be valid, it is valid evidence that you have been assaulted, abused, SA'd, what have you, it trumps that NDA. Once you take your evidence to the cops, it doesn't matter what you sign, it trumps that NDA because it's a crime committed upon you. So all these people who signed an NDA, that P. Diddy gave them an NDA to sign, or anybody else in the industry, made them sign an NDA and is holding it over their head, or you can't do anything. You cannot reveal any type of information. Yes, you can. If a crime has been committed, you can break that NDA. So according to Google, you cannot be liable for an NDA that covers up illegal activity by the issuer. Meaning, if the person that makes you sign an NDA is holding you to that NDA and there's illegal activity that falls under that NDA, they tell you not to talk because it's going to be your neck, they're going to sue you, you are covered. They cannot do a thing to you if the NDA covers up an illegal activity. As in Cassie's case, her NDA that she signed, I'm sure she signed something with Diddy, but it doesn't hold up in the court of law because all the stuff that she named was illegal activity, like trafficking. Everything that she laid out is illegal when it comes to minors, and she was a minor at the time. And of course, she stayed with him, I believe it was over 10 years. And so that was a long time for all those things to be happening to her. She started out as a minor and then she grew into adulthood with him. So he groomed her. All those things are illegal. So she had a very good case. That's why he settled within 24 hours. But let's continue to listen to what Christian Keys has to say. I'm so sorry that he went through this because it really affected him. He says when he lay at night in bed, he thinks about all the young people who has to go through this. And he is beating himself up because he said had he spoken out sooner, maybe some of them would not have had to go through it. So he's really hard on himself. And it's taking its toll because I can see it in his face, his voice, everything.
Attempted assault is a felony. And Tams, you literally just asked, why do we as black people have to deal with that? But sometimes it's our own people. Sometimes it's our own heroes. Sometimes it's the very people we deify.
So you guys heard him. Sometimes it's our own black people. So he's kind of giving us a little clue right there. He's throwing some breadcrumbs down on the ground for us to follow. So we know the person is a billionaire. We know the person is black. And we know that if he drops the person's name, we would know the person instantly. This sexual harassment, it's not only women go through it, but men also. And men are silent because they figure if they come out and they say this person is sexual harassing me, people are going to say, well, they must have turned the guy on somehow. They must have flirted. And the blame always goes back to the victim. So a lot of guys are afraid to come out and speak their minds about it. But since, I guess in the wake of Cassie's lawsuit, a lot of people are coming out, men as well as women. Let's continue.
And my only reservation about naming the people, there was directors along the way like, hey, you read for this, that, and the other. You want to come back up to the apartment? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You got my headshot, my resume. I'm good. You know if I can handle it or not. You know I can kill that. But I don't need to come up to your apartment. We already had the audition. There's other people that I want to say everything, and my brother was like, nah, not yet. I want to tell it on the mountain, over the hills, and everywhere. I want to speak on it. And the good news is that they don't even have to believe me. Hopefully they would, but even if they don't, they can hear this person. Since harassment started, I've carried many recorder devices on me, keychains, pens, thumb drives with a charge battery that get 6, 7, 8 hours, already above. So I have the conversations. I really want to air that out because it bothers me when I'm alone at night. Like, man, the world is celebrating this person and they don't even know the shady and predatory way in which this person moves and the way that, resent the prey that gets away. So when you don't say yes, when you don't say, okay, I'll acquiesce and, sign up and literally and figuratively play ball, so we're not doing that, they resent you. This is a conversation we're going to have, and we're going to have soon, because it bothers me in my spirit that I can forgive people. That's one thing. But, yeah, Pete, we don't play ball. That's my brother in there. And he knows the real deal. He knows the who. I'm good. Somebody said, you don't look okay. I'm okay. I have peace. I'm literally strategically planning my next 8 moves. I'm good. God got me because he was watching when I was offered these opportunities and I didn't say yes. I didn't sell my soul or my, excuse my French, y'all. So I know some of y'all, hopefully y'all have no kids around, but I didn't sell nothing for success. It's like, nah, that's not what I want. I ain't into that. I ain't into dudes. I got the only beard in the bed policy. Mine is the only beard in the bed. Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. I don't get out like that. And these people kept on for years.
So obviously it was more than one person, because he said these people kept on for years. So I guess they were dropping his name with all the homosexuals there in Hollywood, and everybody was approaching him thinking that maybe he would go for one of them. That's what it sounds like.
Harassment is a crime. Attempted assault is a felony. And where I'm at now is that in the middle of the night, I think about if I'm brave enough to name the person. I'll take a polygraph live. I'll take 5 polygraphs live.
So it looks like if for years now he's been grappling with coming forth and got brave when Cassie came forward with her story, although some of those tapes put her in a bad light because it shows her doing number 1, number 2, number 5, 6. She was all over the place in those tapes. But luckily for her, Diddy settled out of court because he didn't want the other stuff to come out. Sure, she would look bad in the tapes, but he would look worse in other documents that she had.
I'll pass all of them because it's the truth. This person is and he's one of several. And it's a shame, man. But I think it's time. I want to, and I know, P, I know you on here. I want to say everything now.
He wanted to say everything, but his brother told him not to. I guess not until he takes everything to the cops and hear what his next move would be and get a lawyer. I guess once he takes everything down there to the police department, they're going to direct him on his next move, or maybe he's going to get a lawyer. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but his brother told him not to air everything out on that video. So on that note, guys, I'm over and out. Hit the like bell before you leave the page and subscribe if you haven't done so as yet. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.